Sheriff Williams speaking out on 3 high-profile jailhouse beatings and also on the killing of a man shot in the head last weekend by a police officer. The sheriff says there is a lack of understanding and trust in our community, and his department needs to improve both.
His comments come as a civil rights group is again calling for more transparency from the sheriff's office, which is being sued over a beating at the jail 2 years ago. Lindsay Gardner is looking into a letter from the Southern Christian Leadership Conference. But first, Channel 4's Jim Pickett spoke with the sheriff. Jim.
Normally when you're talking about lawsuits, it's no comment. But the sheriff is saying a few things today. What he's doing is not really talking specifically about the cases. He just wants the department to be more transparent. And he's talking about how they're going about doing that. It started with the jail beating last month, where an officer was fired for punching a handcuffed woman, followed by another video during a drug arrest where police appeared to beat someone who ran into a store after being warned not to. He said he was checking on his father after seeing officers enter the store. This past weekend, the shooting death of a suspect in Springfield by police who led them on a chase and rammed a patrol car. And this latest video, released yesterday, shows a teenage boy being beaten while handcuffed in jail and knocked unconscious. These incidents have some groups calling for change and open investigations that would have a citizens review board, something the sheriff doesn't believe will work. He knows there's a lot of skepticism by some concerning internal investigations.
I think what I feel right now in the community is 2 things: a lack of understanding of the process and a lack of trust in the process. So we've got to look at that and how can we improve that, and that's what we've been talking about the last couple of days.
The sheriff made his statements today after an awards ceremony where some officers were honored for heroic deeds. The sheriff says he wants transparency in his office so we can see how these investigations evolve. How do you get that trust across?
Well, again, I think it's transparency. So I'll tell you this, again, there are things that we can say and things that we can't. We don't want to negatively impact the investigation, so we want the right outcome, whether it's in favor of the officer or not. We want the right outcome in the case. So we have to take our time. We have to look at the facts. We have to look at the evidence, and that does take time. So while I understand the angst in the community about wanting an answer, I think that's really a symptom of our society today. Everybody wants everything right now. Some things take time.
And the sheriff says a good example of that is the officer who was fired for beating the woman at the jail's Sally Port. He said that happened quickly, but the investigation into those standing around, that is going to take some time. He promised, though, that he would get that information when that internal affairs report is complete and pass that on to us. The sheriff also says body cameras important for transparency, and he's in favor of them, except that there's just no money in the budget for that. He's been talking to the mayor about it. We probably won't see it in this next budget cycle coming up, but that could change. We're live at the jail. Jim Pickett, Channel 4, the local station.
Thank you, Jim. Now to the letter from the sheriff, the letter to the sheriff, rather, from the Southern Christian Leadership Conference. Lindsay Gardner has that part of the story. Lindsay?
Well, Tom, the SCLC really wants more transparency, so they sent a second letter to Sheriff Williams today, also to the officer who shot Vernell Bing on Sunday. That's Tyler Landreville, plus Landreville's attorney. Now, the letter reads, quote, "Our hope is that you will be more open, straightforward, and transparent regarding this police-involved shooting. We will not allow this tragic incident to be glossed over or covered up. Our concern is that it may be months before the truth is told, and that even then it might be covered up. What we want is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. SCLC believes you are duty-bound to tell the community what happened regarding this incident. Your hazy and fuzzy statements and your silence only elevates our collective curiosity. Your silence is deafening and speaks volumes." Now, the SCLC president told me by phone just 90 minutes ago that he has yet to hear from Sheriff Williams today or his secretary. Online tonight, the I-Team has compiled a list of data about police shootings in Jacksonville. Since 2009, 70 people have been shot. All but 8 of them were armed with a weapon of some kind, and 41 of those people have died. Now, all shootings are investigated by the state attorney's office as well as JSO, and every officer has been cleared of any criminal wrongdoing, according to our internal records here at News 4 Jax. Tom?
Thank you, Lindsay. Our coverage of the story does not end here. If you'd like to watch the uncut video of the jail incident that has now sparked a lawsuit, we have it posted on our website. Just look for the link inside this story on news4jax.com.